Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
So I am a little late, but everything has been accomplished. Now I don't have to worry about the drop coming during the show.
Thank God.
And do you think is a good and or bad idea that I order hash through FedEx? Because this is really good hash. This is actually from Afghanistan.
How else?
Right. It's one thing. Midnight Express was scary, but when you just sit home and wait for the
But Federal Express isn't.
Good morning, Josh.
Good morning.
What you going to do? How's everything going with your particular Jew?
It's getting worse and worse by the second.
Okay. How's it sound? Are we okay?
For the 300th time, it sounds fine.
How's the sound?
For the 300th time, it sounds
Okay. Can I just
fine.
ask you a question? How are we doing sound-wise?
For the...
Oh, okay. Can I switch to this then?
Sure.
How are we doing on time?
We have 300 more minutes.
I promoted one of your gigs.
You
For a
did.
second, yes. When you have narcissistic personality disorder, they say a good thing to do every once in a while is look at the timeline on Twitter and see what everybody else is doing.
Yeah. And when you say you promoted one of my gigs, did you just retweet a tweet? Is that what?
I retweeted, but I think I also added some hilarious banter to
Oh,
it.
yeah,
To
I
the
didn't
Frank
see-
Conniff. The picture of you and Frank Conniff is unbelievable, actually. The picture of you and Frank Conniff
Oh, you
for
said,
different
that's right. You said
reasons
this
is
picture
unbelievable.
kills me, and I said this picture kills fascists. That one.
Right.
Yes.
See? And I would bet that you got 40 more orders just from that.
I hope.
I mean, tickets.
Orders for tickets.
Orders for tickets. How are you, Josh? Let's cut right to the chase, all right? Let's cut right to the David chase.
Oh, ouch. It's like I said, it's getting worse by the second.
Hold on. I got to write that down. No, I didn't. I almost wrote that down.
That would be horrible.
Did you watch the Oscars Awards? It's not called the Oscars Awards. I watched the Academy Awards last night, and I actually watched the whole thing. And I actually saw, Susan and I were diligent enough to see 2 of the movies, and we enjoyed 2 of the movies
Yes.
very much. And that's what, otherwise you wouldn't have enjoyed watching anything. We saw Everything, Everywhere, Everything, Always, Everything, Everywhere, Always. Always at Once, Everywhere. And we loved it.
Yeah.
I loved that guy. I loved him embracing Steven Spielberg. At the Golden Globes, I remember they talked about his first role was in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Hoo-Hoo. And now he's back with this film, which we loved. I love Michelle Yeoh. First time I learned that Michelle Yeoh is not an actual martial artist. I bet she could kick my ass. And we also saw The Fabelmans, which we enjoyed.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
I know that you probably didn't watch either one of those movies.
I did watch Everything Everywhere, Hubba Hubba Hubba.
That was a good line by Jimmy Kimmel, I thought.
The L Ron Hubba Hubba Hubba. Yes. It was good.
I thought he did an excellent job. And I'll tell you why he did an excellent job. First of all, he's following me now on Twitter. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I am not aware of that.
Yes, he's following me. So when you bring up his name and anything else, you're going to get a whole different take. There's a guy who's scrappy.
Yeah.
There's a guy who cares.
Yeah.
But the actual truth is, I would rather have the jokes be not the most insulting jokes in the world, and just to create, to me, it was kind of like Carson in a way in the old days. He just basically really said, we're going to calm down, we're going to do it. I thought he did an excellent job. I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing I ever saw, but he also follows me on Twitter.
Yeah. Ouch. Ouch.
No, I thought he did a good job. What did you think? Why don't you come in now and weigh in now?
I thought he did fine. I think he did as good as you can do with that gig.
Right, and
I thought all of his jokes were on the decent spectrum.
Right.
You know?
Even the fight jokes.
Yeah, I mean there weren't. It was a lot of singles, but at least they weren't strikeouts. You know, they weren't.
I like the dancing people. Did you? I thought that was very funny.
I thought the Cocaine Bear was really the only failure of the.
Well, okay.
The big
Can you explain to me what
swing.
happened with that? Set the stage for me again, because I don't remember. The Cocaine Bear walked out with Elizabeth Bankhead, Tallulah Bankhead.
Tallulah Bankhead, yes.
Right, Elizabeth Banks.
I guess, yeah.
Oh, you know her from the movie, that famous movie.
Yeah, but it was all. I was kind of going back and forth between the Laker game and the Oscars. I have to say,
a bad move.
But then I'd
backfill.
backfill.
You backfill. Well, her voice was.
But once I saw Cocaine Bear, I was like, keep going, keep backfill.
Okay, so what were they doing? What was the bit?
that there was a guy in a bear suit acting crazy because it's cocaine bear season.
But the guys, you know what was very funny was he said, if you go too long, we will have these guys come out, and they're like stomping dancers.
Dance you off, yeah.
I killed myself. So, I love that guy won. Oh, what did you think of Everything, Always, Everything at Once?
It's not my kind of cup of tea. But,
okay, but you didn't hate it, right?
Didn't hate it. Loved that they, I think they were committed to the thing they were doing.
Yes.
I don't have the attention span for that kind of time hopping, but,
right.
But I thought there was great stuff in it. I thought it was I thought it was worthy. It just wasn't my thing.
And, but no fable, but, I think that's okay to say. I mean, I'm not going to, let me mark it down. That's okay. You're all right. You're not going to be hated now by millions.
Even if I was, I think that this is the hill I'm willing.
That's going to change the direction of our film industry today. You don't have to.
No, I'm totally willing to die.
I'm doing this bit badly. I'm sorry.
Well, you just have no gravitas.
I really don't. How would I pull off gravitas? Like, could I be like Patton in a movie? Hey, God damn it! I don't care what that fucking guy went through. He's getting back out to the front line. Now you get off your ass and you go out. Why do I have that accent?
I don't know.
You get off your ass.
I don't think a general, but a frightened bureaucrat you could do, I think.
Name me a general that you think physically looking like could at least play. Kim Jong-il? Or
Napoleon, the biggest, I think. The biggest of the small.
All right. Here's my impression of Napoleon. You ready? All right. We're going back to capture Paris, I guess. I don't know why we're at war with ourselves. All right. So look, and what are you looking at, Henson? What the fuck are you looking at? You're making fun of my height, right, asshole? I want him beheaded. Do we do that still? He's done.
You're doing the cream-filled pastry, Napoleon, right?
You're not off and on. I always say that I wish you were more on. You don't.
See what you did? You wordplayed yourself into oblivion.
Then the Fabelmans. I'll tell you about should we move on to the Fabelmans? I thought the Fabelmans was really great, and I cried like a little baby.
Yeah.
And I realized that there's two ways for me to watch movies.
Uh-huh.
One is when I'm sleepy and I'm out like a light.
Right.
And then when I'm not sleepy, it's a different movie. So the Fabelmans, and yes, maybe the fact that I knew it was about Spielberg's life made it more fascinating as I was watching it. But it really is a great story of what happened. I'm not going to tip it to you.
Well, I know exactly what happens, but
why? Why do you know that?
Because I saw a biography, or I saw a doc about Spielberg's life, so I know.
Well, Susan doesn't agree with you. Susan's in my school. You don't learn.
I know what happened when he snuck on the lot. I know how a lot of good things.
You froze.
Huh?
Oh, you froze there. I'm sorry.
Oh,
you froze. Okay, did you know that he didn't smoke pot though? Tell me. I missed what you said.
I didn't know that he didn't smoke pot.
Yeah, but what were you? Did you have other background of the movie? You knew about I assume his father and mother passed away, right?
I think father just passed. I think they might have just passed, but they were alive for the documentary I saw about the whole.
Oh, I thought he wasn't going to do it till they were gone.
Well, I think he didn't do this till he was gone, but the story was out there. I mean, there was facets of the story that weren't.
Wow.
But the thing about the mother leaving the father for the friend, and then
I thought Seth Rogen did an excellent job.
I didn't. What did he play?
He played the person that she had the affair with.
Oh, okay.
Sammy? No, he's Sammy. Anyway, very good. It also made me like Spielberg. I mean, I've always really liked Spielberg, but I happened to come out at a time period where he was overblown. It was not his fault that I had to go on that for some reason I went on that Universal tour 4 times, twice because there were gigs involved, and I don't know how I went, and one as a tourist, and then I got I did a comedy show that you had to go through the tour to get there for Dr. David Viscott. Remember him years ago? Yeah. So, and that tour is all about, and that was directed by Steven Spielberg. That's the whole tour. by Steven Spielberg. So I used to be annoyed with him because I used to also be angry that he invented, not because he wanted to, but he invented the whole tentpole thing and the whole what's it called, like
blockbuster.
Yeah, but also the blockbuster, but that's not at all. It's like the
franchise. Is this what
exactly Star Wars and that exactly?
He had nothing to do with Star Wars. By the way.
I know. I blamed him though. I blamed him for the movement to that thing.
Okay.
I blamed him for that.
Okay.
But it wasn't his. It was not. Has nothing to do with him. Why they got into franchises and all this kind of crap. Now the franchises seem to be working out for the studios. But I still haven't watched one of those movies. Did you watch Wakanda?
I did. It was not a good story.
How was the first one?
First one was fun.
Okay, good.
Wakanda Forever,
Good.
not so fun.
But it's hard to see. The thing is, in the old days, I would say, why are you making these at all? But now it's a whole new genre, and I'm reading in the book about. I'm 2 books on tape that are great. I'm almost all the way through Weinstein. Not as nice a guy as you claimed.
Yeah, well,
I don't get it.
Had to stick up for my cuz. Now I'm confusing everything. No relation, people. Not even the same pronunciation.
No relation.
Yeah.
But less. Oh, I have to say, I have too many things in my head now. I did a gig Saturday.
You did?
Yeah, and I'm getting.
You're
into
like a work machine these last couple of weeks.
I went to the Largo to open up for Zach was taking over for Judd Apatow, I guess, who does a benefit there every week.
Yeah.
Okay, try to guess what I'm saying by the next 3 sentences. So Zach was taking over for Judd, and it was a benefit over there. So I did some time on it for the benefit.
You didn't get paid to go do it again.
Paid, no.
Yeah.
And then at one point, Flanagan said,
Did I read the subtext? Okay. Was that
yes. Look, I love Flanagan. He's been, I've had mixed, he's a club owner on some level. Doesn't mean anything that specific, but he never tells you what you're getting paid. He just doesn't tell you.
Right.
He doesn't tell you if or when or what.
Right.
So I knew I wasn't getting paid when, as I was leaving, he said, we raised a lot of money for the homeless.
Right.
So I did that. I wasn't getting paid.
Now, Flanagan has a "you're lucky to be here" quality about
he does, and he does it very well. And I feel lucky to be here after he starts.
He has created the closest thing to a rarefied space.
I know.
But he also is incredibly proud of himself for having created that.
Yes, he does not lack of any attaboys for himself.
Yeah, but I love him too.
But I have gotten into the habit of calling Zach Galifianakis Josh.
That is fantastic because you got into the habit of calling Josh Zach for many times.
Right. Right.
So I'm very glad that it's backfired on him.
So he said Josh. He says that backstage, Josh. And so I say to the crowd, yes, I happen to know a Josh Galifianakis. No reaction. None. Should I get my...
I love that you did it on stage even more.
Do you want me to get my card so I can tell you some of the stuff I did last night, or don't get them?
Well, I don't know. Is it going to be good for us?
Well, yeah.
All right. Boom.
I'm doing the podcast. What's the matter with me doing the... She just gave me the finger.
Okay.
That was her part of the bit. Okay, so I learned a couple of things about doing spots when you haven't done them in a long time.
Yeah. Nothing will go how you think it's going to go, first of all.
Exactly right. And so all week, and I have this tendency all the time to think I'm not stupid enough to go up with blank cards.
No, but you keep what I do at least is you keep writing. Kind of. You keep thinking I'm going to be a new, different stand-up, so I might as well just have all this stuff, all these half-baked notions at the ready without actual punchlines.
All right, here was one of my...
because I'm a 30-year pro.
Right, so here was one of my bits that hadn't been worked on.
Sure.
I said, remember when we used to love Dave Chappelle? Remember when he was a hilarious comic? Why would he bash trans people? Why would he stop being a great comic and go, no, I'm going to trash? Do you know how many people are going to die because he has whipped up violence against anti-trans people? Okay, so that's all I have on that.
It did not get a laugh.
It got actually stunned silence in a way because sure. I don't think these people, I don't think they cared specifically. I just didn't think they knew that Chappelle Like, even I was talking to Zach for a while. He didn't even know what I was talking about. I said, no, this is a real thing. Chappelle it's not just something he happened to say in a special.
Yeah.
It's an actual thing that's happening.
Yeah.
You know, it's what is he associated with? The anti-trans movement. So okay.
And that did not go well, is what you're saying.
No, not at all.
Did not go well.
Now, here's the thing. What I learned was, if you're going to do a show, here's my cards. Oh, God. Okay, but then I didn't do this. What I have to decide is, say, next time, you idiot. I don't talk to myself that way. Look, idiot. Next time you have a card that has all of your current bits, you're not going to remember them on stage.
No.
They're not current, first of all. They're from 2019.
Yeah.
The cold open joke gets a good laugh. I'm the only comic who provides his own cold open.
Okay, good. Sure.
Still limited.
Good for an LA crowd, though.
I got a decent laugh with I'm hangry. I like to punch myself in the mouth with a sandwich, which I was doing before the thing.
Sure, it's
and
absurd.
Then I brought back myasthenia gravis again because I was battling.
Ouch.
But I didn't really have new material.
All right. Nor mastery of the old material.
No, neither nor.
Yes.
I think neither nor. So I'm trying. Oh, I did the clock store bit. People was like, "Wow, remember those days?"
Not on my watch. You did?
Yeah. Then I did.
Ouch.
If you don't like my hair, I said, "You don't like my haircut? Wait 2 hours." This is when I couldn't think of anything.
Wow. Yeah.
And I did a lot of yelling at the crowd, which was good.
That's good. That's usually your bread and butter.
So I haven't performed live since 3/20. Here's what I said last night. This is how we fumbled last time. I haven't performed since the pandemic. And I don't want to depress you, but March 11th was the 3rd year anniversary of my sister dying. So, and I did not get your card. Yeah. I didn't get your card, Josh.
Did anything for that?
No. That's not what I'm telling you. I didn't get your card. Oh no. Okay. So I said
I didn't get your I didn't get your 300th episode card. So.
So I say, oh yeah, I haven't performed. I haven't been in a club since 3/20. And I lost. It's just so stupid. I lost a couple of family members during the thing, but not from COVID. So it was very annoying when I would tell them I lost people, and then I would go, but it's not from COVID. Now, why am I digging back into this? No reason at all. All right, so that went awkwardly. And, but what I realized, because I'm a healthy person now, not healthy, but on the way to health.
Yeah.
I'm a different person than I used to be, I believe. I was able to have an insight about the set. And my current theory of life is there is no present moment other than the present moment. Even though there is the past, there is the thing, but there's only the present moment. So if you're going to talk about the set that you did Saturday, how long are you going to spend on the mistakes that you made or all these different things? That's ridiculous, because that's coming from a perfectionistic thing from my parents. I had to be good all the time. And good just meant people like you and you've done well.
Yeah.
So, so when I was thinking about the set, I was like, I have told myself my whole life, before I leave the house tonight, I'm going to write every new joke down on a card. Absolutely. The OCD and all the stuff has kept me being late or just on time and not prepared. But it's not going to necessarily change that much in the future. In other words, I'll get there more on time. I'll be more relaxed. But I don't ever see a time where I've got the set for you tonight. Strap in. I think it's always a mix of different things, and you can learn from it if you don't judge it, if you don't keep judging it. I'm saying as the comedian.
All right. Yeah, I mean, the going Zapruder on it is only worthwhile if you're doing another set. So, it's like it's only valuable to, the lessons that I learned from all of this, for me, is you just write the fucking punchlines, because you're not going to come up with them on stage.
That's right.
When
That's
you
a
know,
good point.
when your machine is going, you can come up with punchlines on stage. But when all of your internal energy is just trying to get up to speed, there's no extra brain space to be super creative, you know?
Right.
So, you know, the only lesson I've learned from those kind of sets is, you know, it's like going out and playing golf after not playing for 3 years. You're gonna fucking suck, you know?
Right.
You know,
right.
and you can get mad at yourself the same way as if you're playing all the time.
Yes.
You know, which is what I used to do and why I quit golf, because I would have these completely unrealistic expectations for myself. And
Did you actually think you could be? I mean, I'm not saying this in any other way. Did you think you could be like almost a scratch golfer?
No, I never thought I could be a scratch golfer, but I thought and you know, when I played a lot, I could be a decent golfer. Like
yeah. So is that like a 10 or 9? I think 11?
No, I never broke 80. I broke 80 once in my golf career.
80 and par is 72?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's like considered good golfing.
But I come from a long line of people with unhealthy relationships with golf, and I decided it was time to stop the cycle.
Was there anybody really good in your family? I mean, I'm not saying that even.
Yeah, my grandfather was a great golfer. Like at 72, he was a scratch golfer.
And he enjoyed it, or did he get mad at himself?
No, he got horribly mad at himself and everyone around him, and that's why
not good.
He ruined it for my father for 25 years, and he ruined it, and he tried to ruin it for me when I was like a teenager learning the game.
So it's not even a success story. He played well, and he
played well, and he gambled, and it was just, you know.
It went beyond the golf.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a whole thing and as a result, I just couldn't enjoy myself playing. You know, and he was part of that mix. He was part of who put those voices in my head. You know.
Yeah, to me, it's like.
But mostly, it's just it just takes way too fucking long.
It takes way too long, and it's too slow. For me, I think it's too slow.
Yeah.
Even if I got better at it, which I could get better at it. I could. I told myself I couldn't, but that's because I didn't take lessons.
You should.
I'd have to take lessons.
But golf is. You know, you are the person who always thinks he's going to. You know. I can make the senior tour, you know, if you start playing golf.
Yeah, but not when it comes to athletic things.
Oh, okay.
I have a real thing that goes, no, you're not short, small person.
Well, I'm fat, slow guy, you know, so that's the same voice in my head.
But it's interesting, though, because some sports, like, sorry to interrupt you, but then that's a blanket for the last 30 years. But some sports, like I would go bowling, I would be into it because I could start to get better a little bit.
Right.
But then I realized it hurts. I'm never going to be that good or want to be that good.
Right.
So,
it's not like there's a group of bowling friends who you can't fit in with because you don't bowl. You know?
Well, no, but as a kid, we had bowling alley close to us.
Yeah.
In Whitestone Lane, so we all went. We had a couple, and you know, it was a good way to kill a summer afternoon. You know, but it was, but you know. But by the second game,
it's boring.
Yeah. Now that's the thing. That's the difference because you love pool. Like whenever I see these reality shows and they go, "I'm not going to be able to put my pool table in here," I always go, "What the fuck do you want a stupid pool table for?" I just don't understand it, but I know I get it. So you love pool. You can see when you love something, you can work on the shots, get better at it.
Yeah. And I still flirt with the idea of putting a pool table in my house, but I think it would be like. It would become a symbol of self-loathing again, where I would use it a lot at first, and then I'd start putting stuff on it, and then it's over.
Yeah, but the thing about I guess what I'm saying is that I'm trying to this podcast, which originally was supposed to be called.
It was never supposed to be that. It was just a thought. Stop saying that.
You know, I have to say there is something enjoyable now that I know that bothers you. So I'm going to put that in the old memory bank.
God damn, I hate false narratives. I hate it.
Well, but especially when they're boring, when I say the same thing over and over again. Remember how you were going to call the show 2 Guys, a Pizza Place, and Some Therapy? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get better and understanding. I'm trying to get happier. So I think if you don't have OCD or you don't have a mental illness, you may not know what it's like to hate yourself over stupid things.
I think I'm going to stop you there. I think that's part of the human condition.
Oh, okay. So I'm not alone on that.
No.
I just saw on the TV. I don't know why the TV's on, but I just saw on the TV the guy who killed the 4 people in Idaho. The white guy who killed. I don't know why I say he's white, but it's just like, I look at that. I always think, why? I always try to put myself in the mode of the serial killer. Why would you? He was a graduate student. You know what I mean?
He had so much not to mass kill for.
I know. It's like, I keep going back into it. It's like, it'd be one thing if he never had a job, he didn't do it. But this guy, he was a PhD. He was liked by his.
Yeah, but it's the same thing as these people you're fucking reading about. It's like there's people who are just broken on a fucking 7.
Well, I don't read.
No, but you're listening to the books about
podcast.
Yeah, no, you're listening to the Weinstein and the Moonves and the Sumner Redstone.
King Cone.
But it's
King
these
Cone.
people who are these, who have everything and yet they're so basically broken.
Yes, that's it. It is a good life lesson. Is that why you think I like listening to them?
I don't know, but I think you're happy that they're broken.
No, you know what? I just realized, like, has anyone ever called?
But I'm just saying, you can't when something is broken like that.
Yes,
you're not going to relate to it because it's not illogical.
Right, right. It doesn't make sense.
It's not connected to you.
Exactly. Well, that's a good thing to learn in general. That's what got me better to begin with.
You should maybe get a bracelet with that on it.
I thought Hitler was my fault.
Well, he would have gotten to you, though.
But along these lines, though, Zach.
It makes me so happy that it went the other way. It really does.
It's so good. So the other day,
it was like for years as a kid, people would call me Chad, my brother's name. They would,
that's no good.
And then when I started to become a comic, it would start to flip a bit, and I just felt so good. I felt so good.
Okay, so the embarrassment of having, you see, the thing is, if you realize the Beatles were the Beatles when you were 7 years old, I realized it I realized the significance of the name when I was 30, right? It came to me. So it should probably have been done at someone's house, like a friend's house. I'm sure I'm not the first person to think of it. Then you wouldn't be embarrassed.
Right.
But I did it on a show, the Beatles, BEAT, right?
Right.
Huh? So I'm willing to take that hit. But what?
I'm sorry. This is the nature of it. You need to understand it.
Okay, good. I'm not going to fake it because I wrote the next word down.
The thing isn't that you didn't get it till you were 30. It's that you were proud of yourself when you did get it.
Yes, I thought. No, there's no question that I thought of myself like Sherlock Holmes, but for song lyrics.
All right. Right? I'm sorry to interrupt you, and you'll never get back to where you were talking.
No, because I wrote it down.
Okay, good.
But last night I came up with the fact that, and I wasn't even saying it negatively. I was thinking I never quite got that he loves telling stories. He just is a storyteller.
Who is that? Are we talking?
Spielberg.
Okay.
So I called him Steven Spielberg. That would be a negative way of saying it, right?
It was a derisive sort of thing, yeah.
Right. But I thought it was somewhat funny if you wanted to make fun of one of his movies. Oh, yes, typical Steven Spielberg. Who needs that story? But then I thought, I can't be the first person.
It would be more like
nobody's negative towards him now.
Steven Schmaltzberg is really or Schmaltzberg.
Yes, he does. He does. But the thing is, I guess what I've learned is that he comes by it honestly. Like he loved film, and it's obvious that he loved film. He's not my favorite of all those people, but I still love the movies. My favorite movies are included in his movies. I love E.T. I loved Close Encounters of the Who. I didn't see Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
And was it great?
It wasn't a great movie, I didn't think, but I thought that the portrayal of the Normandy invasion was one of the most amazing sort of spectacle things ever put on screen, really.
Well, it's so funny
in terms of like a visceral representation of what was happening there, there's nothing comes close, in my opinion.
It's so funny because they're not funny because Weinstein started a whispering campaign about the movie that the first 20 minutes were the greatest 20 minutes that he'd ever seen in his life, and then it's just a regular movie after that.
There's something to that,
but he was doing it so that Shakespeare in Love would win.
Right. Yes, I don't have any motivation in my assessment.
So, but the idea that Spielberg never let it, and I agree with him on this. Spielberg could not believe that someone would do that, would start and he had done this. He said Sean Young was hard. These people he sexually abused, he would do this to them. And he actually created because he had so many great connections with all the tabloids. He created, like, Sean Young was supposed to be difficult, but she wasn't difficult. She just was sexually abused by him. And he started to, I'm not saying whatever you heard about a specific person, because I know there was, like, who played the original Superman lady? And she had some emotional problems.
Margot Kidder.
Yeah, right. Okay. Is she the one who went out with James Woods?
I think that was Sean Young, maybe.
Oh, that was Sean Young. That's a perfect example. And the thing about the thing with the whispering campaign, so Spielberg, see, Harvey would do anything. He literally, first of all, not that it matters, but he really did have a golden gut or whatever. I mean, he had an encyclopedic memory of movies. He loved the movies. Him and his brother watched them. I mean, they came by honestly.
I mean, all of none of that matters. It's like there's plenty of genius in terms of talent, people who are just monsters. And I'm not saying he's a genius, but I mean, he was obviously a super effective filmmaker,
right.
But he was a fucking monster in every other
He
level.
was a monster. Yeah. None of it matters except that when you hear these people talk, it matters to me because I'm interested in how people why people get, how someone that horrible gets away with what he's getting away with and the drama that he brings people into. Because if he was just faking it, he wouldn't have been as effective sexual predator. But because he could and was interested in movies and actually could talk about the things, he wasn't lying, but he was using it for evil. Except that he liked making movies.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was being 100% transactional about it, which is that was basically his life was transactions. And so if, and he had to have leverage in every deal. So if his leverage, if the deal was fucking a woman, he had to have leverage, and the leverage was, I can fucking ruin you,
Did you watch the HBO thing or?
What HBO thing?
About Weinstein or? Have you watched any of his HBO documentary?
No, I haven't.
Here's the thing about it. You can't extricate, I'm going to say this and it's going to sound wrong. You can't extricate the story from the story. If he if he didn't have great taste and all this kind of stuff, we would never have heard of him.
Correct.
Right? And
he wouldn't have had the power. I mean, he would have I think he would have, in any business, successful or not, he would have found a way to bully people. I think that is the nature of him. But because he had good taste when it came to movies and scripts, and no good taste when it came to behavior of any kind.
Right.
But that's where the morality breaks down, because it's Hollywood, and if you're successful, then you're bulletproof.
Well, that's really what the book is really about, is the fact that no matter what you say, what excuses you can make for certain people, there was definitely should never have gone on this fucking long that this guy. No. This is because of a male. This was because what he was seen as doing, even what he was doing was worse, but what they were allowing him to figure he was doing was still horrible. Yeah. You know what I mean? Well, that was allowed that was the casting couch, and that was allowed in show
and he had a brother who was letting it all fucking happen all the time, who saw
I don't know if his brother was.
You don't know if his brother? You think his brother was clean to his behavior? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. I think so. I think that's ridiculous to believe.
Hold on a second now. How many books have you read on? I've read the book.
I don't care. He's his brother and his partner, and people outside of their office knew he was a fucking monster.
But he believed Harvey, that he thought Harvey was a sex addict, but he says he didn't know that he raped people.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to necessarily make him a legal accomplice.
I think you have to.
But the behavior that you're talking about, in terms of all this other aberrant behavior, the sabotaging people, the whisper campaigns, all this other stuff, was part of this abuse of power package.
I think he was a better person, is all I'm saying. I think he was a better person.
That's a pretty low bar.
No, but it's like you can't. Look, if you can listen to the book, you can't listen to the book. I'm just saying, after this whole book, I'm getting that it was a much more complicated situation, and the reason why I'm saying it's complicated is because also his brother made great movies and his brother was under Dimension Films, and Harvey said he made horrible movies. So it's like both brothers had talents, but Harvey always would play down his brother's talent, even though his brother, and would say Dimension Films was making garbage. So it's just fascinating because you heard all these things when it was going on. So it's just fascinating to me how it all went down.
Yeah.
And all these other men who was involved with this, and some, most of them horribly involved with it. But like David Boyce, for example, they say his character weakness is so steadfastly has to win.
Yeah.
That he, didn't see the woman with who was the woman with the blood? Elizabeth,
Oh, John Voight's daughter, Angelina.
No. The woman, Elizabeth Holmes.
Oh, I thought you meant the woman who wore the blood in the vial around her.
Oh, that's yeah. No, okay, I lost myself. Go ahead.
Elizabeth
Let's go
Holmes.
to something else.
Who's the woman with the? You were saying people have to win, and then Elizabeth Holmes. That's how you.
Yes, Elizabeth Holmes, the woman who fooled everybody into thinking that there could be a machine in CVS and Walgreens where you would just put your blood in and it would get your results out. Have you not heard of that? It's a big one.
Of course I have.
What's it called? I'm trying to remember it.
I believe.
I know it sounds, I know from past experiences, it sounds like I'm trying to trick you, but I just really was trying to find the name.
Theranos.
I wasn't saying, I can't believe you don't know it.
Right.
I was not saying. Okay, Theranos. So David Boyce believed her way past when he should have believed it because he wants to win all the time.
Right.
So
she was
he
blonde.
got fooled. Right. And who else got fooled really bad was, I'm not surprised by this because he's kind of an asshole, but George Shultz.
Wasn't it? Oh, Schultz. That's right. It wasn't Kissinger.
And his grandson broke the case.
Yeah.
All right. I think people need to, from now on, listen to my other podcast, which is called Audiobooks. It's all about me. I have a different co-host. It's a guy.
An interesting
I have
guy.
a yes man. I have a glad-hander.
Yes.
He's like somebody who, like Dennis Miller had on his podcast.
Yeah.
Where the guy goes,
yeah, Dennis.
And the guy goes, you got him. He calls me boss, which I don't think is a good thing.
I think that could go to your head.
It could go the other way.
Yeah.
You look very healthy to me. Is your back feeling better?
Old Jew Medical Corner.
No, my back is stalled out. In fact, I'm going to have a nerve conduction test of some kind next week.
Why do you laugh at that? It's not a real test. You sound like they're ripping you off.
No, I'm not laughing. You're just not. You're not good at reading people's faces, I think, is what's happening. Oh no, you don't look. You don't look at their faces. That's right.
Here's what I'm going to say something right now. You have a lot of things about me. Who is Ricky? Who is Ricky Minor? Oh, he must be the band leader. Okay, I'm trying to think of other things I saw. I want to see maybe that Irish the Irish movie with the Colin Farrell and the hula.
Yeah.
Let me hear your Irish guy.
I don't want to tell you my Irish guy. It's the Banshees of Inisherin.
Sharon be gory. I always thought was something they say. Oh, it's Flanagan. We should learn from Flanagan.
Yeah.
He's Irish.
Yeah. Oh God, ouch.
Oh my God. Well, can you at least teach me how to do? I can't
teach you. I can't.
You did. And you taught me this. They look like.
No, my only Australian tip is the one that someone else gave me, which is it's every vowel every time.
Yeah, but you see, you can't give people just because you are very good at it. I mean, you are you're like Michael Winslow level.
Ouch.
I don't mean that. You can't dislike Michael Winslow.
I do
because he does good voices. I can't
dislike him, but
I don't know why I brought him up. That was a mistake on my part.
Yes. So
people say that the movie The Whale is not a good movie, but they love Brendan Fraser. I'm not sure what happened there.
That seems to be the consensus. I have not seen the movie. I did, as I tweeted it. I thought his acceptance speech felt more like he was just acquitted of a murder he didn't commit.
He looked like bemused or confused.
I think he was. Just overwhelmed.
So you know what happened?
So he went to the whale analogy a lot. He just went with it.
Well, the last every Academy Awards, well, they've been horrible pretty much. I mean, I don't know if even they've been on for the last few years. Maybe they have, but I always get excited about a movie that I don't end up watching. So I think that's going to be that movie we were just talking about.
Which one? The Banshees of Inisherin?
The Whale.
I don't think you'd like The Whale.
But I thought I'd love it because everybody was Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. I would watch the Banshees of Inisherin before The Whale.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you watch it with gusto? Let's go watch it. Why you just say before? What is that on it? Oh, is the Banshees the Irish people?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Why do they call them Banshees? It makes me feel like it's Chinese. Is a Banshee Chinese?
No. Wow.
Well, what is a Banshee?
This is Welcome to the Home. We finally, episode 300, we've cracked it. We're at the home, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to admit it. Andy is actually talking to you from
Hold on a second. Would you wait a second? I don't like Jell-O. Nobody likes Jell-O, you fuck. They hate me here.
That's what they said.
I called them you fuck. Josh, say hello to Edward. He's one of my people here.
Hi, Edward.
Go fuck.
Hi.
Why do you love the idea of me or someone like me just old and just about to die the next day or something, and all the funny things I do?
Yeah, I do.
He tried to drink his alarm clock
I don't like
the
the
other day.
die the next day part, really. I want to stretch it out a little bit.
I also don't want any letters from the 4 people who listen to the show that we're making fun of dying or death here.
I disagree. I think we are laughing at death here.
We're laughing in the face of death. I'm not scared of death. I've because of therapy, I'm not scared of anything anymore.
I had a good joke yesterday on Twitter. That's just where I put my jokes now instead of a notebook. So I've never felt like my dead parents are watching over me, but that's probably because I never felt like my live parents were watching over me.
It's a great joke. Now you're going to have to go do that joke in a club.
I will in May. The gig that you pumped up so hard. You think you were fucked up with a 10-minute set? I have to go headline after not doing sets.
But we'll maybe I'll even go with you somewhere before then.
Yeah, come to Minneapolis.
If we went, no, I'm saying before.
Oh, okay.
Before you go there, I'll do a trip with you.
Oh, okay.
A couple of trips.
All right. Well, you'll have to get the sets for me too.
That's what I mean. Right, I'll get the sets for you and the whole thing.
I like it. I like the plan.
I wanted to, what's your take on Diane Warren? Diane Warren has been successful since I was in music in 1978.
Yes.
And I can't get the style in my head.
She makes me bristle. How about that?
Yeah, because it's all about
like her and David, what's his face, Foster.
I can't even get the style of it.
Well, it's power ballad is her style, and
yeah, because I realized I didn't even know she was a piano player till last night.
She's a power balladeer, and she's got just this gigantic ego.
Yeah, I know she really does. But I was like, I can't play the piano, so I was impressed.
Yeah. All right.
I have never gone past that level in my head.
Well, I think you do, though. I think you either are impressed or filled with scorn.
Well, no, like Randy Newman, I love the way he plays the piano, but sure. I'm not. But
you're not impressed.
Where did we get this impression?
You did. From your.
You know where it's from? It's from like when I was playing electric guitar, and I remember my sister's boyfriend was like, "Yeah, Eric Clapton. I wish I had 12 fingers on each hand." It was during that time period where that's all that mattered to him, at least. Yeah. If I had 25 fingers on each hand, I could play like that. It's like
I don't understand that.
In other words, it was the slow hand. He was like. I came up during the generation of people competing. Right. If I had been in a different world, I would have been hanging out with Eddie Van Halen, trying to, but I didn't go that route.
Uh-huh.
Which was the.
I just don't understand the 25 fingers on each hand thing.
He's so fast. Is what this is. Oh, well, I thought that was obvious. It's like, I don't have 9 fingers in each hand. Like. Eric Clapton is a freak, so that's why he's so great. But now I don't even.
But that wasn't. But wasn't his thing about? Wasn't it more slow hand? Wasn't it more about taste?
The slow hand meant that he looked like he was moving his hand slow, even though he was playing all these fast notes. Gotcha. That's what slow hand's from.
Okay, thank you.
You do that, right?
Not really. No.
I'm guessing on that one.
Okay.
Because it's like who was faster than him? He was considered fast.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that was ever what his. I mean, to me, that was never what made
right, because you came along afterwards as a historical thing. I was still wanting to be a Beatle then.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to be like Eric Clapton. I want to be like this. And then I realized I don't want to spend 10 hours a day playing scales in my house. End scene. No, what were we talking about? Were we on to something?
I'm not entirely
We had to
sure.
have been on to something.
I'm not entirely sure, no.
Oh, God.
We were Diane Warren. You were impressed that she played piano. That's the last story-based point I could...
She and that's why I want to see this movie called The Hard Way, which is about the guy who was in I'm Not Missing You, that guy.
John, I thought you saw it.
No,
you did. You said you...
No, I listened to the podcast, Bob Lefsetz's podcast, where he was interviewing.
And then you said you saw the doc.
No, I'd like to see it. The Hard Way is called.
And you lied.
I think I did lie, but that was during remember when I told you I was British? But he had that song Missing You, and then he had another song with the group Missing Persons or Human League or something.
Wasn't he in like the Babies or something like that?
He was in the Babies first. And then in the other group, Diane Warren wrote the song that was his second follow-up hit, which you could tell he didn't like the way she arranged it and everything. And so it's like he probably didn't want her to come along. He wrote the other song in 5 minutes, which everybody says about great songs that they wrote. I've Been Missing You. And then but then you could hear it.
I Ain't Missing You.
That's true. You don't like that song?
No, it's called I Ain't Missing You, not I've Been Missing You is what I was saying.
Well, I know that you're not missing me, but
Gonna take a little break. Gonna take a little break now. Gonna take a little break. Gonna take a little break now. Gonna take a little break. Please stop talking for a moment. Take a little break now. Gonna take a little break. Please stop talking. Gonna take a little break. If it's in your power, break now. Gonna take a little break. Just stop talking. Gonna take a little break for a minute. Gonna take a little break now. Gonna take a little break so I can stomach another hour. Take a little break now. Gonna take a little break.
Okay, how about now?
Perfect.
Okay, good.
I would ask you what it was, but then what's the point of that?
I did a USB show yesterday, so my settings were off.
Oh, I did a USB show when I figured out how to do Are you talking about when you do your personal space hotspot?
No, I was talking about when I went overseas to entertain the troops. The USB show.
Don't joke with me because I've had a hard day. Don't joke with me.
I understand. Don't you?
You can't joke with me.
There's no point in joking with you, really, regardless of your mood. But
what are you saying? What are you saying? Joking with me never works?
That's what I'm saying. It's like that. Oh. Like right there. There's a perfect example. I don't get it. What are you saying?
I get it.
I know you've had a hard day. That's why it's 5 o'clock instead of 10.
Are you drinking?
I am, because it's our 300th show and it's St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, my God. It's not our 300th show. Next week is, right?
No. I spent the whole first hour.
You're wrong.
I spent the whole first hour dropping hints about it, and you were rejecting it. So
no, you're wrong. It's
why is it hashtag
because
test
it's
show?
Coming out
why
next
is
week?
It test show 300 is the hashtag? What? That's the really.
Why are we
that's
asking
really
for
the
questions?
number one clue, really, to me.
But that's next week's show that we'll be doing.
That we're recording now, you mean?
Hey, I don't know how everything works. I just, you know what I'm saying? I say, turn it on and I'll show up.
Yeah.
I don't think I can talk about the
I've also got a cold.
Oh. You haven't had a cold since the pandemic started.
So if I have an extra little level of Nick Noltiness to my voice, that's why. Or Barry White.
Yeah, well, I had terrible
I'm Barry White. Please exit the cab on the left side.
Oh, is that when you would fly into New York?
Yes.
It was also in Vegas, too.
Well, Barry White
right?
was... I only heard Barry White in New York.
Ha, I'm Chuck Memphis. Ha, get in the cab. Ha, put your feet out. Ha,
This is Barry White. Please be careful on your way outside the cab.
This is... Oh, I thought of this idea that maybe you could write for me. I just remembered it again. Is there any other situations in life where you could have the 4 voices that are always in my favorite songs? like Sly and Family Stone. Like 4 guys. I'm gonna have some tuna. I'm not saying it's a singing version of it.
Or like like Papa was a Rolling Stone kind of a thing.
Yes, the Temptations were famous for it, and so was Sly.
That ain't right.
Right. How about this one? I'm gonna play on my organ. I say the right, Sally. Right. I'm gonna play with the thumb boom. It makes the hoo 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 boom 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 like that.
I like it.
But I guess I don't have the joke.
No, but you had the enthusiasm.
That you could really use that. I only can think of when I'm ordering food. And then what's the joke? It would just sound like, I would like some French fries because I really am hungry too. Hey, how's the steak? How is the steak prepared? Does it come with a side of? All right, let's move on.
I've moved on a while back.
I think you're being nice because I had a rough day is what it is.
Yes.
Should we describe the rough day? Or if you don't think for the 300th show, maybe not, right?
No, well, I need you to be wherever you are. And if you're still in your rough day and want to talk about it, then...
Okay, I think you got to talk about it.
All right.
But I won't make it long.
That's why I brought liquor, my friend.
What happened was...
I brought liquor. I've got a glass full of ice and some bourbon on top of it, and when the ice is gone, I'm hanging up.
It is a sad thing. Towards the end, I really couldn't spend much time around Andy unless I was drunk. It just was, God bless the guy. He's gone now, so let's not talk too poorly about him, but God damn it.
All right, I'm prepared to let you speak uninterrupted for at least a moment.
Okay. My brother had contacted me Wednesday night to do a cameo for a friend of his who was having a 60th birthday and is like a PR guy with a company called, I forgot the name of the company now. It doesn't matter. Okay. Gladstone. But it used to be, what's the name of the Brunswick? Okay. Brunswick used to be the company. But before that, he was a reporter for the Wall Street Journal back in the days before Rupert Murdoch took over, right? And he told my brother, so far I haven't gone on too long, right?
No, I didn't need to know the companies, I don't think, but that doesn't matter.
Well, you know what happens? The fear for me is that if I say too little, you don't know what happened.
Right. Well, here's what I know, is that this experience triggered something deep within you that was very hard to get past.
Right.
Okay.
So that's exactly right. So
tell me the information that you feel like is pertinent to that.
Right. So basically, I'm telling you all the jokes I was going to kind of do in a way because he had a joke like that stuff I was going to say. He was this, he was that. And the joke was supposed to be in the roast that I was supposed to roast him a little bit. Right. That he used to be a reporter and now he's a PR flack. Now you're just a PR flack, right? Okay. And then I'm also supposed to say that when he met with my brother 20 years ago and they had lunch and my brother was thinking about leaving Cravath to be an investment banker, this guy who was a writer for the Wall Street Journal, he encouraged him to sell out. And then a year later... Sell out
in a good way?
In a good way to get the money, right? You can't... In other words, maybe we don't know this, but... For people who have a lot of money, being a lawyer isn't going to cut it. Right. Mostly, unless you're like...
Oh, is that what happened? He went from lawyer to investment banking?
That's what my brother did.
Yeah,
he was a partner at Cravath, Swain, and Moore.
Yeah, that didn't register as a law firm to me, so...
Yeah. So, and then the guy, a year later, after giving Rob this advice, he became a PR person with this company called Brunswick. And so the thing is, and you sold out too. And we both sold out. Okay? So it's incomplete information, as you can tell. And I think that ultimately I really didn't have an angle on it. But that the fact that I didn't want to let my brother down and the fact that this was going to be played in a dinner somewhere, I could not understand the angle I was going to do on it.
Right.
And so...
Well, it's hard to roast somebody you've never met and have never heard of and have no information aside from a thumbnail sketch.
Well, that's what I think my brother realized finally, maybe. But I'm not angry about that at all.
I'm just saying
happy that he did it.
I'm on your side here. I'm saying.
Yeah, I know you're on my side.
I'm saying it wasn't an easy task to begin with that you had trouble with.
No. And what was different from this in a Cameo is that I was thinking, okay, so let me just say that's the setting. As the night progressed, I kept doing, I'll give you the opening line I kept doing over and over again. Hi. Oh, happy birthday, Steve. My brother thought it'd be a funny idea to hire a famous comedian to roast you for your birthday.
But then
he said, yes,
okay.
Right? Instead,
sure.
Right? So you have to realize this factors into it. After 3 hours of doing that opening, right. It isn't that funny anymore.
Sure.
And it's not
I'm
that
sure
funny
it took 3 hours.
It's really even not that funny to begin with. It's a line you would do at a roast.
Right.
But the point is, for whatever reason, I got paralyzed and I just started to get, it wasn't as bad as the time. It wasn't nothing like the time in New York when I broke down. It was nothing like that. But it was.
Let's just say it didn't sound good on the phone.
So I called my brother. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about that experience.
Yeah, I'm just talking about your call today and that experience.
Do you have to rate that as a life emergency? You know, when my sister-in-law had a breakdown, it was tough, but she wasn't spitting food all over my face. Like, would you? So, then what happened was I had the show with Keister last night. And so then what happened was I had to start at 10:30 here in the morning. It's like, I don't think of myself. I don't think at like 6:30. And I wasn't even up all night. I did 6 hours on it yesterday. Yeah. And I slept from midnight to 6 this morning. Right. And I worked from 6 to 10:25 in the morning.
On this video.
Right. And then I called you. Uh-huh. And then I called my brother, and he was just very sweet about it and felt bad that I was feeling bad.
Right.
You know? And I called my therapist. My therapist said, you really probably, and I know this is true, I have not grieved properly over my sister and my mother. So the fact that this occurred between the two anniversaries, and it was for my brother, and it just got so emotional. He's my only blood brother. It's like all of these things.
Well, let me just stop you on one thing. I think it's incorrect to say you haven't grieved properly. I think it's correct to say you're not done grieving.
Right. No one said to me that I haven't grieved properly, but me.
Right. That's why I'm stopping you. I'm not trying to contradict your therapist. Right. I'm trying to contradict you and what you tell yourself.
I think you're right, because I've been trying to grieve when I was angry, like a year and a half. I couldn't understand what was going on.
Right. I mean, there is no, because there's the bullshit anger, denial, acceptance, but like there is an actual finite thing. I don't think you're ever done grieving. I think you just find.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You're never done, and you never know what the triggers are, and you never know, all you can do is just keep finding ways to file it in your brain that aren't constant triggers for you. But it's never going to not be sad. You're never going to not miss these people. You're just going to it's just going to eventually become a fact of your life that you live with,
Right.
But there's not a right or wrong, unless you're going, crack is the way I mourn, then it's wrong, but I really, otherwise, it's kind of a lifelong process. Allison was just had nightmares last night that her father, who's been dead for 10 years, was prominent in last night, and
right.
So it's just, it's you don't get to control it.
I think that you're absolutely right. And my brother said something. He was so great with me when he said this morning. I forgot. He was just like saying, I think I called him last night. I'm having so much trouble with. I think last night he said, forget about it. Just forget about it. I think last night I went through this, and he was saying that.
Fuck it. We're both millionaires. We don't need a laugh.
Can you do your Mystery Science Theater stuff on another show about me?
No, then we got nothing.
But my brother said, like, my brother really has been through very, very hard emotional things in his life, which I don't really.
Well, I mean, he's had the same list of losses as you know.
Yeah. But I mean, early on in his life, he had, he got very sad when he went to law school. He kind of really had it was too much for him.
Yeah.
And
yet he didn't take it as a sign. He still went through with it.
No, he took what he did was pretty amazing. He took a year off of law school after the first year or something like that, which people don't usually do.
Right. They usually don't go back. Plenty of people.
That's it. That's it. I think you're right. That may have made him not go back. And then he took a year off. He opened up an ice cream parlor, and he had got that moving, and he went back.
Yeah.
But he was just telling me that sometimes when he's, he was also talking about how much we're grieving, but he was also saying sometimes when he's sad, he doesn't really know what's going on. And my therapist said that too. It's like, I can't communicate. I'm so upset I cannot communicate. It's like a million different things happening that I can't really describe because it may be beyond words too.
Right. I think it is.
Well, thank you, sir.
I think it either cheapens it or oversimplifies it by putting words on it sometimes.
Yeah. So my wife has been amazed.
It's just loss.
What?
It's the category of loss.
Right. Well, the thing is, I'm sure you don't get up in the morning and go, boy, am I lucky I had a lot of loss earlier or something. But the only advantage to that is that you probably have learned to navigate it a little better than most people who haven't been through it.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know that I fully accept that it's part of life at this point.
Yeah, and I think I also told you that, and not to name drop, but Jonathan Katz had contacted me early on and said that thing. He goes, you never know how grieving is going to go. You just never know how you're going to do it. And that really helped me. That was before I was, in the tumult of it.
Right.
I'm just saying Jonathan Katz really stepped to the plate.
I understand. I dropped the ball. I get it.
I can't do the you're bad bit. Should we go to you think we should do questions? Or
I think we should, because I've got a corned beef simmering.
That is so cool. You make corned beef?
I am making corned beef.
Have you made it before?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't corn it. I'm just boiling it and simmering it.
Oh, where'd you get it from?
The grocery store.
Oh, no, I thought maybe you ordered it from Schmoopy's Back East with Gold Belly.
Corned beef and cabbage thing I'm doing.
I love corned beef and cabbage.
Well, good. You could do it yourself.
It's very easy.
There's a store like across the street almost from you. Right.
And I love the corn, and I don't know about your recipe, but here's what I do.
Yeah.
Corned beef.
Yeah.
Then you have the potatoes.
Uh-huh.
Right. And then you have the cabbage.
Right.
And that's how we do it.
And water. That's pretty much the recipe. Yes.
And one thing I love the way the mustard tastes on the corned beef in that particular meal.
I agree.
I think I'm just also relating to the fact that my mother, that was like one of the few things that my mother could cook.
Yeah, because it was throw a thing in water and boil it.
The way she would, I'm telling you, when she would say, it's catch can tonight, my skin would crawl. Because it was always catch can anyway.
Right.
Because my father brought it home, or look, my mother, this is not the way you're supposed to breathe.
No, that's where you're wrong. I gotta stop you once again. That's just as valid.
Hey, you're consistent across the board.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
Pickle. Oh,
no.
Uh-oh.
Wrong.
Oh, my God. Pickles, you are a failure. Johnny Whoop says.
And Johnny Whoop said September 7th, 2022. This is when this came in.
Is that cheating?
It's not cheating. No, that's the method.
Look who's first this week.
Pickles came in like merely a month ago.
I didn't know that was Pickles' game either.
Oh yeah,
I thought Pickles was Oh yeah, don't put it up.
It's not like LeBron James. He's first in the gym every morning and last out. It's no.
Is he first in the gym every morning? Really?
Absolutely. Even in year 20, my friend.
Couldn't he at that point pay someone to come in early?
He could, but he doesn't, and that's why he's the greatest player of all time.
He probably is, right?
I think he is.
Yeah. Johnny Whoop says, "Look who's first this week." Yeah, it's me. Milestone week, and here I am in the catbird seat. I just thought of another joke I was going to do. I was going to say, 60. This is a joke I was actually going to do. 60 years old. What a milestone or a millstone around your neck. What the fuck is that?
Wow.
Okay, so milestone week, and here I am in the catbird seat. This is simply unbelievable.
Let me just say another thing. To your credit, you didn't call me to write for you, and I appreciate it.
You mean to write during this terrible time?
No, to write this cameo for you. Because I could have knocked it out in probably 20 minutes.
It was more the delivery, though.
Yeah. The sobbing hurt it, I think.
Milestone week, and here I am in the catbird seat.
Okay.
This is simply unbelievable for young John Whoops of Internet USA. What is it there? What is it there? 2027? What does that mean?
He's like because he's writing this from the past, so he's talking to the future. What is it there? 2027?
Are you doing
the show from Mars?
Got it. What do they eat there? Martian mellows? This is maybe the best and the most complex question we've had, and I wouldn't think
none of it's a question.
Johnny
That's
Whoops.
the thing. It's a performance piece more than anything.
That's right.
He's not looking for answers here.
Sorry, Pickles. Sorry. You just got whooped. I'll read Pickles since I normally do.
Sure.
Pickles says, "Do you like roasted chicken? In simple words, roasted chicken is a chicken that is fried in oil, but inside a pressure cooker. Precisely." This is also what was happening when I was doing the Cameo. I would go, I said his last name wrong. I said, and that's why his brother Robert 5 times. In simple words, should I save these?
Let me just add one more thing. Did you give your brother his $45 back?
This is the saddest part of this story, Josh. Why do you think? Did I tell you I was raising my prices?
You did, and then someone paid you to do a cameo to me. Was it Jason Parton?
Yeah.
And you were complaining. You were complaining that you hadn't properly raised your prices. Yes.
And so my brother said, "I thought it was 45." I forgot.
Yeah. That we'll have to talk about the Jason Parton cameo to me, which is.
Oh, okay.
That was excruciating for everybody involved. Let me just say.
Wait a second now. Nobody but us 5 people have seen it, right? It's not like taking off, is it?
No, it's not taking off. I assure you.
How come I don't feel bad about that?
I don't know. You should. You should have done better for me.
Did I do? I'm glad that I didn't.
I hung up on your cameo 7 times.
I didn't do any highs though, right?
That's the best 19 part. Highs. And even the cameo in the captions, it went from HI to HIGH later in the thing when you said hi.
I'm not, I'm laughing, but in a way it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel bad in the same way.
Everyone was hurt by that whole thing. Everyone.
But shouldn't it have been? It should have been. And I got hurt because it should have been 45.
Yeah, well, you're the person I feel the least bad for.
So it's fried in oil, but inside a pressure cooker.
I do like roasted chicken. By the way, roasted chicken is not just a process; it's a patented, it's a proprietary name, broasting.
So you're telling Pickles that sorry, Pickles.
So you can't. It's hard to broast at home. I'm saying. You can't do actual roasted chicken at home because it's something.
Because it requires a machine?
Because they sell it to people in the restaurants, yes.
The machine.
Saying they're selling roasted chicken without the official roasted chicken.
It's bullshit.
Well, they're lawbreakers more than bullshit.
Do you feel the same way when the guy called his steakhouse? What did he call a steakhouse for years? Angus. And they weren't Angus necessarily?
He just was calling himself Angus.
Stuart. Oh. He was Stuart Angus.
Black Angus is what you're talking about.
Yeah, but his name, he claimed his name was Stuart Angus, or he changed his name?
He was Colonel
to Stuart Angus.
He was Colonel Angus.
You know, when I was in the meat business, I changed my name to Prime for a couple of years.
Yes, I remember.
Is that the best one?
No. Well, I mean, not the best
Choice?
joke. It's the best meat, but not the best joke. Eamon Lusk. Man, I'm like Suzanne Plachette here. Hi. Did you ever think you'd get to 300 shows? If it depresses you to think this might be your legacy, imagine how the people listening each week feel. Not sure you're doing a 300th show roast. If not, eek, sorry. You guys are the best. Congrats. Thank you.
I take that to heart. I understand that it's hard to listen to the show. But I would hope that the people aren't forcing themselves. I would hope there's at least 50,000.
What if the show was your legacy, Andy? How would you feel?
I don't believe, it's an interesting question because I don't believe in legacies.
I don't know.
I mean, I'd like people to know, I'd love people to talk about me after I'm gone. That's nice.
Right.
But I don't think you can leave a legacy.
All right.
Because I could say, oh, we've done 300 of these.
Yes.
That's pretty fucking great.
Right.
I'm proud of it. I don't know why you hate it so much. That's your problem.
It's you. That's what I hate.
Look, okay, well, Danny, I have a thread. I like when you do the show, this thread ones.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you do a good thing with it.
All right. Thank you. Damn Irish. Man, my voice is shitty. The alcohol's probably not helping. Hey, guys. It's been 300 shows since Andy started therapy and you guys started the pod. So when does Josh reveal that the therapist is an actor and Andy's been on hidden camera the whole time?
Oh, I'll do the ad.
And then he followed up. Okay, you go ahead. You do the ad.
Yeah, because it sounds like you're about to die. Andy, he follows up with Andy. How do you think you've changed since starting therapy? And Josh, how has Andy changed from your perspective? Well, I know I've changed tremendously, but as today proved, you never know when you're going to feel bad.
All right.
So,
but I think to put it in a nutshell, which sounds like I'm dying by the dead nutshell. To put it in a dead nutshell, I apologize for the rest of the show because I haven't been talking very much this week. Apparently, I didn't realize.
You want me to ask the question?
I didn't realize I had no stamina. I think Andy's changed from comedic self-awareness to actual self-awareness in many ways.
Oh, okay. You're answering the question.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, I am.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That is very cool. I thank you for that. Perush. Hold on a second.
Do it correctly, for fuck's sake.
Perush is on fire. It does sound better.
It is better.
It is better. The Perush asks, get it?
Yeah.
Did you get my joke?
Yeah, I did. You reverted.
Funny, right?
It was a relapse.
Perush, says, you guys missed this epic crosstalk tweet from the cricket verse. In cricket news, my team India... In cricket news, my team India beat the Australians 2-1 in the series. Ashwin was one of the MVPs. Ashwin was. P.S. To the thought spiral Australians, next time, bring Kahawaja and 10 spinners. He got me with that one. He got me. Are we part of this loop?
Yeah,
like,
we actually did. I actually tried to read that tweet you're saying we overlooked last week, and it was just so. I botched the name. It just wasn't good. I had to explain too much, so I edited it out. So we didn't actually skip it. I literally eliminated it from the show.
Well, I'm going to save your voice because the next Perush one's a long one.
All right.
Perush follows up with Happy 300. Things I tried searching for on the internet from this show, but took a while to spell it out. Koyaanisqatsi. That's how it's pronounced.
Well, you have to say it like Dennis Miller for you to say it correctly.
Because he said it wrong. Koyaanisqatsi. I think it's Koyaanisqatsi.
It's Koyaanisqatsi.
Okay. And you wrote his first guess, I guess, was Kolonuskatsky. Moment shots. and he went with MOO, Moominshans. That would make sense. I would never get that.
All right.
Borikas. Borikas was the Sephardic. Is the Sephardic?
Which you still haven't brought me any of, and I'm waiting.
Oh, I think you'd like it.
I know. I'm waiting.
I think you'd like it.
I think.
Okay, I'll bring it to you.
Please.
Yeah, but it means being up. Oh, I could do it on Friday morning. You stupid idiot!
I love it.
I could do it on Friday morning before our thing.
That'd be great. We could eat barikas together on the air.
Tu B'Shvat, and he wrote Tisha B'Av, which is similar to Tisha B'Av.
What he doesn't know is those are two separate holidays that he was looking at.
Oh, that's
Tu
what
B'Shvat is a celebration or a holiday involving the trees, whereas Tisha B'Av, which is the 9th of Av, Tisha B'Av, is a fast holiday commemorating the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem.
Wow, he wrote Tisha B'Av, which would have also
right, but he was looking up Tisha B'Av, and he got Tu B'Shvat.
How many times has that happened to you?
You got your Tu B'Shvat in my Tisha B'Av. You got your Tisha B'Av in my Tu B'Shvat. They're fantastic together.
I am impressed by your education because it seems like you learned something. I learned nothing from religious school.
Yeah.
What did you learn afterwards?
No, both.
When did you study religions after you went to the temple?
I went for years.
I look at accusatory, but
I know every time.
What the fuck?
300 fucking shows. 300 fucking shows of this.
You went to a graduate class.
No. No. It's just regular Judaism.
Regular Judaism. Oh, that sounds like a terrible pitch for Judaism. BD West says, in picture tells 1,000 word news. That's a tough one to right out of the bat.
It is.
In picture tells 1,000 words news. Sarah Suckabee, that's not her name, but he writes Suckabee on there.
It's a name parody.
It's a name parody. Sarah Suckabee Sanders signs bill relaxing child labor laws while greedy fucks in back grin psychotically, and those poor kids in front are picturing themselves slaughtering hogs during spring break.
And then there's a photo of Sarah Fuckabee Sanders. Oh no, Suckabee, sorry. Signing the bill for child labor expansion.
I can't. Do you know that kid in the front? He's 5 years old, and he's holding up like a little work thing.
That's right. He'll be slaughtering a hog in no time.
Didn't they just find that they were having these finding migrant kids who were being put in factories to work?
Please, sir, may I have some more?
I think that you do this definitive asking of Tweet Bahar questions.
Tweet Bahar says, congratulations on 300 shows and thank you for doing them. I only did that because it was all caps. You're welcome. And then he says, you know who I hope listens to the show? Robert De Niro. I picture him doing to the De Niro chuckle and saying, those fucking guys, affectionately.
Yeah, you know what the thing is? You're kind of right about that tweet because he loves podcast, Robert De Niro.
Well, last week there was a question, what celebrities would we like to listen to the show? That's what he's referring to. Just trying to help.
I'm very sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, okay.
You really can't get that mad at me now, right?
No, I can't.
For another few days.
You're still egg fragile.
The Outlaw Jason Pardon. I like that. Was that a good movie, The Outlaw Josie Wells?
Yeah, if you like,
it Bob
De Niro?
Clint
Eastwood and Westerns and killing.
The Outlaw Jason Pardon says, happy 300th anniversary. You all, happy 300th anniversary, oh, building alone. Well, you said you all building alone. I was in need of a Dennis Miller, what is it, GIF? Of a Dennis Miller GIF the other day, and would you believe that he's so irrelevant these days I couldn't actually find one. Things are looking up. Here's to another 300 test shows. That cheers me up. That you can't find. I'm sure someone's doing a Dennis Miller meme of some type.
Look up Cha-Cha.
Hey, Cha-Cha. I don't know why that brings me joy, but it did.
Annotated MST says, congrats on finally bowling a perfect game. Because it's test show 300, you see.
I'm not that stupid. Okay, maybe I am.
Okay.
If I was that stupid, I wouldn't pick up the bit you were doing.
Will you read this, please?
Congrats on finally bowling a perfect game. This is annotated MST says. Congrats on... Did you just read this?
No, just that first thing, and then I went, and ran out of voice.
Congrats on finally bowling a perfect... I will be reading all the questions from now on. Okay. Congrats on finally bowling... Except the emails I can't do.
What about Instagram? That's the real problem.
Instagram I can't do. And of course, there's 300 of them.
All right, I'm saving myself for Instagram. You take us through Twitter.
Okay, got it. There you go. Right. Congrats on finally bowling a perfect game. There's been very few gutter balls in this podcast. Lots of humorous strikes and jokes to spare. Josh, hope to see you and Frank Conniff in Minneapolis in May. Congratulations, you guys. Annotated MST.
This is like Brendan Fraser's whale analogies during the Oscars almost. But thank you, Annotated MST. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in May in Minneapolis.
Wonderful. Dan Marsh says, regular Thought Spiral listeners will know that Andy wanted to be a rock star before he became... I didn't exactly say it that way, but you're right. Before he became a comedian. But I don't know if we've heard much about how Josh went from being a young stand-up to playing and singing on the tracks we hear on the show. Good one. Do you have the vocal energy to answer this?
I do indeed, because it's about me. Music was always a thing. I mean, it was always part of my creative package growing up, but it was never like what I wanted to do for a living. And then when I got to LA, I had a band with Gruber and Paul Feig and and then Allison came along and our band broke up and Allison's band broke up, so Gruber and Feig and Allison and I merged into a band. And then so it's like, how often can you have like your best buddies and your girlfriend doing the same thing? So it was a perfect life in that regard.
I think they did that in the Archies.
They did, I guess, but it was a lot of back and forth.
I think, do you also
they
want to know?
They did it all the fucking time in Fleetwood Mac.
What'd they do?
Fuck each other.
Oh. Well, one of them were married going in. I always tell people, if you're going to be in one of those bands during an orgiastic period, don't get married going in. I'm sorry for that statement. BD West says, oh no, but I think I was going to find out, but have you already said how much you played, like when did you start playing? Have you already said that?
Well, I mean, I've never been a serious player of anything. I've just played everything I could along the way. So, I mean.
But like from a young age, you played guitar?
From a very young age.
Yeah. And all self-taught?
Almost. No, I took piano lessons and I took bass lessons at one point.
Well, piano lessons you kind of...
Took some trombone lessons at one point, but... But mostly, almost all self-taught. I mean, certainly the bass lessons didn't take, and I eventually taught myself to play bass later.
Right, yeah.
But I had a bass from my teenage years.
I want to become a bass player as one of the things that I'm going to do. But can you do it from just listening? Because I think I maybe could if I really listened for the bass more and had a feeling of the bass. Do you play with your fingers?
I play with my fingers, not a pick, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
But you don't, I'm not looking to play other people's parts, so you don't do it from listening.
I don't know what my questions. I'm just a bad questioner. Yeah, is what people have determined.
That might be it.
BD West says, "Hey guys, best song titled Happy Anniversary, Flintstones or Little River Band." I don't even know that either one of those do that song. What is the song?
I don't know the Little River Band version, but I know the Flintstones one.
How's that go?
Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy. It's the William Tell Overture. It's William Tell Overture. Yeah.
Oh man!
But it was the basis of a whole episode of the Flintstones.
But there's a bunch of stuff.
It was a callback-filled episode, is what it was.
Yeah. Happy birthday! We could go crazy on that. Yeah. And why would I want to? BD West. Hey guys. Best Zack Snyder movie.
Zack Snyder movie?
What did I say?
I don't know what you said, but it wasn't Zack Snyder.
This is how I felt all last night. Hey guys, best Zack. Well, that's not that easy to say. Best Zack Snyder movie. 300 or 300 Rise of an Empire. Now, Josh will have to answer. I've seen neither of them.
I've seen about 10 minutes of 300. and none of the other. So I guess I'll go with 300.
Is it not good?
It's not my cup of tea. It's not my.
Does it look
it's
real?
Not my cup of Sparta.
Why do people like it though? What do they like about it? Is it good action scenes?
Greased up guy action, I think, is what they liked.
It sounds terrible. Yeah. Scott Allen wants to know, Josh. Now, is this Scott Allen a new? Is this a new? He's an actual verified person, I think. I'm not even saying that to be obnoxious. I'm just saying that I've noticed there's a lot of people who have a blue check and they joined last week.
Right.
Those people are paying.
Yes.
And I'm not saying you have to pay. I'm just saying I'm in a special club and I don't want others in it. Scott Allen says, Josh, please make Andy as uncomfortable as possible with this tidbit. The episode 299 file was called Teat File 299.mp3 instead of Test Show 299. Teat. P.S. I'm still Shecky Flop Sweat. Has he always been Shecky Flop Sweat?
Yes, that's what he's saying. Well, that's a joke on Alex Brazell, our producer.
Well, if you were like a Harvey Weinstein, you would call him up immediately.
Let me just say a little something about Alex Brazell. Alex Brazell is now a full-fledged manager at a very reputable showbiz management firm in New York City.
And he's still doing it?
And I have given him every possible out I could to go, you don't have to do this anymore, Alex. You're a manager now. And he's like, I'm not letting my boys down. So God bless producer Alex Brazell from Showbiz Productions. And Mazel Tov on your rapid ascent.
That's so great, isn't it?
It is good, yes.
Yeah, he is. When I met him in Montreal before, when we just met, he is encyclopedic about comedy and the things he likes.
And I said, you're going to be one of the good ones. And he goes, yes, until I get corrupted. I go, you're not going to get corrupted. You're just going to get fucked over a lot.
Yeah, he would be in that situation. Yes. He's not going to be. I mean, anyway, I'm not going to get into the Harvey Weinstein stuff again because it's just awful. But I mean, Harvey Weinstein, without doing all the horrible sex stuff, would stiff people all the time on their bills. I'll pay you $50 all the time. You charge me $80,000. I'll pay you $50.
Right. Because he's just, I mean, it's all about power, no matter what.
Wow.
Trump did that shit all the time, too.
Emma Mark says, happy 300th episode, guys. When you travel for gigs, or when you did you have any favorite bookstores you like to visit? Well, we would both probably say the one in Portland, right?
Yes.
I love that store.
And by saying the one in Portland, you fucking wiped it out of my brain.
Okay, give me Herm Willer. Brentwood. Brentanos.
No. It'll come to me like 6 questions from now.
What else where else have you gone to bookstores?
That's the only place where it's been a destination bookstore.
Taylor's, Sailors, Edward Betts. Tiny Nailers. It's not Tiny Nailers?
It's not, no.
Is that a restaurant?
Hold me closer, Tiny Nail.
No, but during the day, back in the 90s, a lot of bookstores had comedy clubs like Borders and stuff like that.
They weren't comedy clubs. They were just comedy nights.
Why did I say they were comedy clubs? Yeah, they're comedy nights. And one of my jokes was, hey, sir, are you enjoying the show or just browsing?
Hello?
Christopher Citro says, congrats on 300, guys. Beep, beep. Samsung has a robotic human butt that tests cell phones for durability by sitting on them. Beep, beep. If Samsung branches out with a comedy-making company, beep, beep, what kind of robots will they have in that testing lab? Oh, my God.
And there's a photo of like a jean-clad ass bot.
It looks terrible.
That crushes phones, apparently. And by the way, let me just circle back. It's Powell's bookstore. Thank you.
Powell's? Yes.
Yes.
So what happens that makes you see?
I knew once I could get out of your brain cloud orbit, I would get it.
Is it Kenny and Jules? Walt Norda Well, I don't know what they would be. They would be comedy making robots that would say beep beep.
It's chatbot AI. There's your comedy robot right there.
Chatbot. Walt Norda, have you ever eaten pudding with your fingers? I call it pudding. I don't know what you call it. Have you ever eaten pudding with your fingers? If so, what kind of pudding? If so, how many fingers did you use?
Now, please, for God's sake.
If so, were other people present? If so, what was their reaction? I have never eaten pudding with my fingers. I don't even like pudding that much.
I do like pudding, but I like it with a spoon.
Yes, and I would not lick it off. I don't lick anything off my hands.
Or at a worst case, a snack pack metal tin cover folded in half.
I still, as you're saying that, I'm depressed. How is that food in any real world?
I like a pudding. I like a good pudding.
Joshua Cohn says, Joshua Cohn has, what? What's he replying to? I don't know how this works.
He's just saying,
we've reached
Mazel Tov. Tesha 300 Mazel Tov.
Stupid. What's the matter with me?
Toda Rabbah. That means thank you.
Hashasha. Oh, is this the day that we see a lot of Jews walking around, or is it tomorrow?
How do you mean?
Orthodox Jews.
What about them?
In the neighborhood. I see them walking around. Do I see them walking around Saturday as it's getting towards sunset?
You'll see.
Or do I see them walking around tonight?
You'll see them going tonight, you'll see them going in the morning, and you'll see them going tomorrow around sunset.
One of my favorite things to do is to acknowledge those people. I mean, not in a joking way, but just a nod, that type of thing.
I love to talk, but I know you hate me.
No, I'm over solicitous. I'm the type of person who go,
Shabbat Shalom!
Yeah, that is me.
Is it?
That is me.
It's a nice thing to do.
Yeah, why not? Is that just on Friday? Sabbath, hello?
Well, you go Shabbat Shalom, and they go Shabbat Shalom, Goy. This is what they do.
Richard Cole says, hi, Josh. Hey, Spike. Who is Spike? Yes, Andy.
On.
Hey, Andy, you're still Spike. Yes, Andy. Enjoy this. I love this picture. Enjoy this picture of the sunrise I took today. Congrats on making it to 300 shows. Parts of them make me cringe, but there's always plenty that make me laugh. I've been a listener since number 1.
Well, it feels like you've been here the whole time, Richard Cole. It really does.
And what does that make me want to say? Which ones were the most cringiest? Was it me or something that Josh said?
Which show did you see? Is the old joke.
I think that parts of them made me cringe, maybe less so now, but you never know. Right? When you start talking about shit jokes.
All right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
Stephen Elton Yates says he has 2 questions. Which one do I go first? Gentlemen, my mom loves Shirley Temple. Who's an old celeb your parents enjoyed? My dad loved Gig Young because you could never tell what he was going to do. And Arthur Kennedy because you didn't know who they were going to be in the next movie.
Yeah.
You always knew who Paul Newman was. That kind of shtick.
Yeah. My dad liked Westerns. I don't know that he had, I think, in terms of the ladies, he had a Sophia Loren thing, I think.
Wow. Who's the one who ended up being like a right-wing person? It could be Gina Lola. No, not Gina Lola Bridger. Another bombshell lady is like a right-wing fascist now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to the law. I apologize to Bridget Bardot.
Right. Correct.
Were you going to wait for me or you didn't know?
She was a French fascist, not an Italian fascist.
Which is really nice. They're the ones who you don't have to ask them if they want to be with the Vichy government. They say, where can I sign up? Where is this killing? At the Holocaust Museum?
It is. In Belgium.
Stephen yells, I truly love listening to Andy and Josh each week.
What did you just call him, by the way?
Can you tell that I'm still a little bit like in shock from being
I do feel that, yeah. A little bit.
Okay. Stephen Elton Yates. Stephen Elton Yates says, here's a second question. I truly love listening to Andy and Josh each week. It helped get me through some dark days. All I can do is thank you both and buy you some coffee. Stephen, you don't have to keep buying. Well, we'd like to.
Stop with this. Sorry. God damn it, you're guilty.
If you never bought another coffee again, Stephen, you are a delight, and thank you for saying that. And even if you had added something about some of parts of your show.
He just bought us 10 coffees with this tweet, by the
way. I am going to now admit to you, Josh, I don't always spend it on coffee.
What? Stephen L. Yates, you're a delight to have around. Thank you.
We love you.
Although I don't believe that we helped you get through some dark days, because I don't believe you actually have dark days, in my experience.
Well, I don't believe that he gives some kind of a Baptist seminar to married
Greek
people.
Greek
Orthodox seminar to people who are getting married. That doesn't happen. It does.
That's why it's not a dark days kind of guy thing to do.
M. Ledsam is here. Oh, we love you, M. Ledsam. Happy 300, gents. What do you mean 300 gents? There's only 2 of us.
You finally got through 300 dudes?
J. Elvis, feel free to harness your inner Spartan. Andy, feel free to be suitably bewildered. Much love, guys. I don't recognize that. Is that Sparta?
It's a GIF from Zack Snyder's 300.
I still don't get the joke. It's 300 episodes, and there was a movie called 300. Oh. Does this mean I could not be a detective, right?
You could not be a detective. You can't
because I couldn't keep anything.
You can't even play Sherman Oaks Private Eye.
No, don't you recast that. Julian Valentich says, guys, thank you for bringing much needed levity.
No, I think you forgot Justin Faulkner.
How did I mess that up? Justin Faulkner says, wouldn't that have been bad? Justin Faulkner says, thanks for all the laughs. Gentlemen, I'll say it again. Thanks for all the laughs, gentlemen. If Andy can remember the voice, a celebratory Mr. Kindler, Mr. Weinstein would tickle me.
It's Weinstein. It's Weinstein.
Mr. Weinstein.
If anything comes away from 300 episodes, let me just say my name is pronounced Weinstein.
Mr. Weinstein, come into this office immediately. How are you today?
Yes, Mr. Kindler, yes.
Before you dot one more I across one more T, you put more coal in the kohler. And also go out and buy the son who will die if I don't take care of him. Buy him something nice. Oh, I think I'm doing Scrooge.
You were doing Scrooge, yes.
Oh, sorry about that.
Until you said coal in the kohler, and then you were off completely.
Now
you're on your own.
Julian Valentich says, guys, thank you for bringing much needed levity to Countable Mondays. That's true. They're countable.
They are. 300, exactly.
Happy 300. Thank you. Thank you, Julian. Have we gotten a lot of gifts in the mail?
Huh? We've gotten some coffee this week.
No, but I mean like mugs. All right. Eastside 76, official.
Wow.
Eastside 76, official Mexican of Thought Spiral, says, that is true. We did have a ceremony. It is our tremendous luck that you've reached this milestone, and I am very thankful. Has your experience in the industry shaped your perspectives on comedy? And how has the podcast influenced your approach to writing and performing? Well, I think that we have shaped each other. You know, we discovered things together. But I don't know. Has it influenced our... Well, writing and performing together would be better, right?
It's a lot of questions going on here.
Yeah.
Has your experience in the industry shaped your perspectives on comedy? Well, of course, because it's just experience.
Right.
So I've got a more well-formed approach to comedy, I would say.
Well, also because it doesn't force you, because we're not current event oriented, but you're thinking about things.
And as far as how has the podcast influenced my approach to writing and performing, it hasn't affected my approach to writing at all. But it probably has made me a little freer as a performer.
I would think that
I can do a whole show in this stupid low voice right now, fully committed, like completely committed. I couldn't have done that 5-6 years ago.
You know, a lot of times during my act, I still say 65 degrees. You know what? That's what's from my act, stupid.
Michelle, Wise Carver.
Michelle, where have you been? Salutations and congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you for all the laughs and joy and for the intense discomfort when you two argue. I'm celebrating your 300th ep by traveling to Acme Comedy Company in June to see Josh and Frank Conniff. Love to you both.
That makes me very
fantastic.
Excited. I'm so excited to hear that. That's great.
Where does she live?
I think Ohio.
It's not like Duluth?
It's not like Duluth. No, it's like a real actual commitment of time.
Remember when you yelled at your... Yeah, because remember when you yelled at your friend who was like bragging about coming from Duluth to see you? And he's like, fucking one town over. You made him feel very bad.
I don't recall that, but I probably did.
Well, thank you, Michelle. This is wonderful. And there will be, I planned, there's a couple of planned, intense, discomforting arguments coming up. So, well, actually, do we have anything intense about Weinstein? No, I think we're fine. Is that this week's show?
Huh?
Weinstein is this week's show, right?
I think we talked about him earlier, yeah. I think you were like,
hey, if you haven't read, either you read the book or you haven't. You can't have an opinion unless you read the book.
That's my recollection from earlier in the week.
The book is the gospel. The book is everything.
Don't people who've read books or seen movies always say that when they're arguing?
I guess so.
You haven't seen it.
I've never read a book, so I don't know.
I hyperventilated. Did you notice I hyperventilated? That must have been very good for my system.
I'm sure. I feel the endorphins actually on the voice, whatever it's called. The bourbon's kicking in now.
You just said the bourbon.
I put a little extra mustard on that.
Oh yeah, because you're one of the things you don't claim this, but I've never seen you inebriated. I've never seen you come up to me at your house and go, I just had a Marconi. You're the funniest goddamn co-host a fellow like me could ever have. I love you, you big. See, that's not even good.
It's not good.
Kayak Nutra says, congrats on Test Show 300, fellas. You're really the highlight of my week. I often stay up to download the latest Test Show at 3 a.m. Monday morning. I'm so eager to hear one of my jokes not land. Here's to another 300 episodes, though I understand if it ends up being around 75. So he's saying he will understand if we leave it 375.
He's saying no pressure, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I don't feel that pressure. I'll tell you when I felt pressure when I was 9:30 this morning when I hadn't done the cameo.
Hi, you're old and rich, but you're sold out. Hi.
Then I think it's.
Normally I get $45 for this. Up from $35.
I think this. I forgot what I was going to say, but maybe it's good that I stopped.
It's probably good. I just wanted to.
Tom says, did we say this one? I don't think so. Congrats on 300. Andy, congrats on missing 1,500 of Josh's jokes. I wish it was only that many.
I wish to.
I got there before you.
He meant last week is what he meant.
Right. You know, the thing that's amazing is that I don't think people know that I'm A, a Rhodes Scholar, B, have written several.
He's actually a Fender Rhodes Scholar. Which
doing, 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 doing. So you're 60 years old. That's quite a milestone. Or should I say a millstone? You know what? My system was telling me, do not put that out.
Yeah,
don't
that's
put
good.
that
Your
out.
system still got your back. That's good.
I could never live that down. Remember when you did that roast and you told the guy it was a milestone or a millstone around your neck?
Ouch.
Kerry Whedon says, congrats and many thanks for persevering. Test Show 300. Thank you, Kerry.
Thank you.
We have, and it hasn't been easy with this asshole.
What? You've never said anything before.
I'm going to text my brother to tell him that I'm doing the show because he's calling me.
Okay. Tell him you just got mugged under a bridge. It's hilarious.
I would do that if it wouldn't take too long.
I understand.
If I say Josh says hello, and he says, "Who's Josh?"
Ouch. Ouch. Means I'm not in the will.
Well, you're in the will because I'm in the will. I told you I'm splitting everything we do from now on, 50-50.
You just texted me, Andy. You just texted me instead of your brother.
I hope this goes to him.
I hope so too.
Oh, it's like a sad. The best time was when I sent it to. I know I'm name dropping, but when I sent the thing to Richard Lewis, saying we have a lamb in the freezer. We have, and he said to me, he goes, I'm so out of it. I actually thought it related to me. He said to me. Oh, that could be my brother. All right. The world can't just end because everyone's concerned about whether I live or die.
A third Jew says. Wait, did you pass one? Oh, I see. We have a lot of them. A third Jew says.
The absolute heartiest of mazel tovs on reaching the great milestone of Text Show 300. You know, it's a milestone. I don't feel that way.
It's more like a millstone to me, around my neck.
Like around my neck? If you said that, I would probably hang up the phone if it had been you. You are a pleasure to listen to every week. Thank you for continuing to do this. My question, they say never meet your heroes. Who have you looked forward to meeting and been disappointed by? I can't think of anyone right now.
Shatner was a dick.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't really looking that forward to meeting him, but he was a dick.
Only Billy Crystal, but I can't blame him because they say he's always a dick. And Susan, we were in a restaurant with him, and they said maximum occupancy 61, and he was with the Mantle kid and the Roger Maris kid when the movie came out.
Yeah,
and they were looking at it, they're like, oh, and so as we were leaving, Susan says, "Do you want me to take a picture of that for you?" He goes, nah.
Wow, he said it 40 times.
But that you can't go by that.
No.
But I choose to. Dan Marsh? Dan Marsh says, last week I challenged Andy to give us 5 words for poop, which sickened him as intended. But my request for Josh failed because it was meant to evoke the same feeling. Josh, can you give yourself a little pep talk, but the cheery kind you don't like?
No, I can't. I don't have it in me.
Come on, buddy.
I don't.
Things are going to get better, buddy.
But
cheer up.
But.
No, that's not. I don't get the bit we're doing, but is it good?
If you could have done a little more pep talk, it would have been a bit.
Oh, but you're great though. You're doing so well. You have your podcast.
That's where it went off the rails.
Rotten Louie says, "Happy 300th. Thank you for hanging in there for all these years. From the jokes to the sometimes deep conversation, every show has a little something I can personally connect with. And you both really help brighten my outlook when I'm feeling down. Much love."
Wow, that is just all nice, Rotten Louie.
And it's not rotten. There's nothing rotten about that, right? Oh, my God. I am going to cry.
You skipped Crimson King's
I don't want to do that.
two-banger.
Crimson King. Oh, because you know what? It looks so foreboding.
Yeah. It's just
I don't have
words.
Can you do it? Because I don't have it.
Sure. Crimson King says, I have so many questions. Is this just for you or in general or okie dokie? I think like Crimson King hasn't seen the show or heard the show before.
You can see the show?
This is just a response to your fucking tweet. What's the meaning of life? It's having friends like Andy Kindler. Why do bad things happen to good people? Because Andy Kindler is a bad person and good things have still happened to him. How do you penetrate impenetrably obstinate arrogance? by just going, no, you're very smart, Andy Kindler.
Wait a second. Wait, am I the arrogant guy there?
You are in my premise.
Did you do both?
I did enough. John Dunbar says, hearing the genuine joy in Andy's voice when discussing Josh's dogs, but knowing there's a reluctance to becoming a dog owner, I wonder if he would consider fostering a dog.
What does that mean?
That means having a dog in your house until it finds a forever home.
That sounds depressing to me.
It's the worst of both worlds, really. It really is. You get to take a really unstable dog into your house and then build a relationship with it and then let it go.
And why aren't you just taking the dog? Because you enjoy...
That's what happens with a large percentage of foster people. I mean, the reason people do it is because they're going to get killed. They'll be killed if they stay in the shelter. Right. So let's not minimize the animal fostering process by any means.
I'm sorry for even being quizzical.
But what I will say is that it is kind of, for Andy's situation, it's kind of the worst of all possible situations because he's not a guy who's comfortable already with dogs.
That's right.
He's not a guy who's got this down. You know, so it's just going to be a high stress environment for an already stressed dog to go into and never get through to the other side. So,
do you think but how do you think which is
different than you actually getting a dog, which means where you'll just fucking figure it out eventually.
Right. And it's like, I don't certainly want to go through the dog training to give the dog up or any of those unpleasant things. But how am I around the dog? Do you, when I was at your house, did you think that I'm someone like Dr. Doolittle or?
You weren't Dr. Doolittle-ish. You were more Dr. No Little, but.
Well, the dogs seem to generally like
you. Yeah. Lucky especially liked you quite a bit.
Oh,
Clyde would pretty much go upstairs when you came over, but you know
that's not for separate reasons. I like somebody who justifies. Yeah, but he always goes up.
Right,
she always goes up.
All right, let's keep this moving. Greg Kelly.
Greg Kelly says my son leaves for a school trip to Australia next week. Do you know where the Ben Lee Music Museum is, or other useful information in that vein? The farthest I went for a class trip was Cincinnati. Kids these days. Well, I only know Melbourne, which I loved. I had a good time there. I only went there once and really, really enjoyed it.
Well, we have a lot of spirals in Australia. Take care of Greg Kelly's kid, huh? Huh, people? Take care of the kid.
I want to go to see the Australian Open.
I sent my kid to Italy with school. I never went anywhere. I went to like northern Minnesota from southern Minnesota.
Yeah, I went to Washington once.
Sous Vide says, an associate of mine with 2 little kids just told me her husband was arrested for solicitation of a minor and she can't bail him out. She wants to know how to explain this to her kids. I'm stumped, so I ask you guys. Thank you.
This is perfect. This is perfect. This is the type of thing that this show does function as. With 2 guys, strong opinions, coming in without knowing the people and getting very harsh about it.
I think you should say, your father is a danger to all children. Good night, kids.
Her husband was arrested for solicitation and she can't bail him out. I really don't know how old are the kids?
They're little kids. I think you just need to take this as not something you need to actually answer. This isn't an actual...
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
yes,
good.
I'm saying don't feel like you need to answer this, Andy.
Okay, I'm taking... Sufi, I'm taking... Josh's lead on this because you can tell I'm barely hanging on. And not like I'm upset. I'm just out of it. Tyson Sainer, the last question on this particular format, says, congratulations on 300 episodes. Thank you, Tyson. Over to you, Josh. What's new with the Instagram? I call it Instagram.
Go into the gram. All right. There's no shortage of questions here over on Instagram, Andy.
Thanks for giving me the temperature.
Foodie Giuliani says, wowzers, the big 3-0. Oh, congrats, gentlemen. It would be hysterical and at the same time heartbreaking if it was secretly agreed upon that you would stop at this number when you first started the first podcast way back when.
No, that would have been weird.
That would have been more of a plan than we had.
And then we would have been going, can't make it the first 50. And then we'd argue about that.
Well, smart people, it's like if it wouldn't have taken off after 100, would have fucking quit.
I can't think one example of anyone who's ever done a series like that saying we're going to do exactly 5 years or
right.
Usually don't.
Full Dork says, congratulations on 300. Will you let the success go to your heads? Clearly, we will.
Yes, I just had one of the I had hours of a panic attack. I know on things like, how could things go wrong?
That's right. It was It was all fear that this would all go away.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Delicious Mix says they look like fun questions, but they're not. They're inappropriate. Congrats on hitting 300, boys. There's got to be a Sparta joke in there somewhere. Everyone's going to the 300 thing. So there's a Bob Ross doc on Netflix. Not only did Bobby cheat on his wife with an elderly lady, his son said Bob was on his on-air persona for the most part, but he could fly into a rage sometimes, which I find hard to imagine. Josh, you've given us Angry Bob Dylan. I think the time has come for Angry Bob Ross. Now, beat the devil out of it.
I thought I'd seen that movie, but I haven't. That makes me want to see the movie.
Yeah, there actually is a movie with Owen Wilson coming out where he basically is playing an angry Bob Ross. So let's leave it as Owen Wilson.
It's
coming out this year. Yeah.
It's a biopic.
No, it's actually a script from 10 years ago from the Blacklist, which is the list of hot scripts that don't get published.
Oh.
And the guy who wrote it actually directed it, but it's from 10 years ago before the Bob Ross revival. So, but nonetheless, it's very much modeled on Bob Ross. And it's Owen Wilson with a white guy afro in the movie's trailer.
Is it out yet?
It's coming out, I think, very soon.
I would watch that. I'll watch that.
I think it might just be called Paint or something like that. San Franapolis. Wow, I'm running out of voice. Always appreciates whenever Andy and Josh share their thoughts on the Beatles. Josh, you saw 3 of the 5 perform together at the tribute to George that was reunited after their last ever rooftop show. Billy Preston, Paul, and Ringo, yes. Any more memories from that night, as that was so rare an opportunity to witness? And Andy, which Beatles have you seen live? And how close did you ever come to crossing paths with John in New York? Congrats on the mighty 300, you fab fellows. It was a great night at Royal Albert Hall. It was very cool because we had those we got those incredible seats through this incredible sort of series of connections. And it was seeing McCartney and Ringo and Billy Preston playing together was pretty great. I was very aware that I was like, this is the most Beatles I could see.
Man, I wish I had been a fly on the wall. I wish I'd been a fly on top of you. I don't get it.
Warps your head, I'll go with. Says, hi, congratulations, maybe, on the big 300. And also for cracking the Da Vinci Code on the Beatles' name, Andy. Applause emoji. Thanks for all the laughs over the years. You guys are the actual best. Heart. Thank you, Warps your head.
I have to say that I don't understand why this is happening, but there's nothing I can do.
I don't either, but I don't want to talk about it. I know that much.
Okay.
Munson 3786 says, gentlemen, congratulations and stay sexy. Thank you. Zeke Fossey says, Andy, could you favor us with a song?
I could. You mean like now?
Yes.
Like a. It doesn't seem like I'm in the song mood.
No. All right. I'm not going to force you.
Okay. I would, but I'm not ready right now. I apologize.
All right. RDP says, hi guys. Andy, are you still working on your singing voice? Did you ever get Landslide where you were satisfied? Makes me think some of the more successful talk singers like Jagger and Lou Reed and even Ringo in some Beatles songs. Some songs demand a more subtle approach. Perfect day with a little help from my friends. Just saying there is a place in the great pantheon of songs for some Kindler-fronted ditties. Thanks and Godspeed to you both.
That's very nice.
There's a place for you.
There's
a place for you.
Well, I will say this. I sent Josh me singing one verse of Hallelujah, and he said it sounded nice.
I did.
Acapella.
Wasn't that great of me?
Yeah, it was.
The way I supported you?
Well, not now when you're saying that.
PB Adams says horrible as Slim Harpo and Jim Harbaugh eating Haribo on hardball. Choo choo.
Hey, is that more? Is people bringing Dennis Miller back?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he says, we Instagram posters are quite obviously superior to the Twitterati. Don't call us the rabble.
Is it because they can use as many words as they want?
Oh, you're going to love this next one, Andy.
Okay.
Studio Early Door says, congratulations on another millstone, guys.
Did he use the millstone joke?
He did. Thanks for all the love.
That's okay. He's not doing it for
He's not
Cameo.
getting paid. Yeah. Thanks for all the love and effort you put into my favorite podcast. Here's to another 300. Once more into the breach from Charlie.
Wow. Cool. Everyone is so nice.
Another millstone, Andy. Another millstone.
I don't want anybody to feel bad about using it in the letter, though.
No, but it's pretty funny that
it is pretty funny.
It's pretty funny that he did. My buddy Barry Golub, my brother from another not dissimilar mother. Few things. First, schmagegi is not only real, but the fourth most popular Yiddish penis synonym after schmuckbutts and schwanz. I did not know that schmagegi was a dick word. I really didn't. I thought it was more like an idiot dick than an actual dick. Second, hard to believe that Andy knows Topol from Yiddish theater and not Fiddler on the Roof. Is he aware that firefighter Steve Buscemi also went on to have an acting career? See,
Third, I'm back.
Oh, you're back.
Thank God the Perugia's on fire issue is fixed at last. Finally, a hearty Mazel Tov on Test Show 300. I found this.
Thank you, Barry.
But this says it's the last question.
It's not the. It is the last question.
Oh, okay. So I thought I was really broken. You know what? And I still feel bad. And I've sent a card and flowers to the person who was upset about the Perugia.
That's good. That's good. I'm
it's
glad.
not just.
It's good to
it
have
hurts.
a follow up.
It hurts.
It is. Well, if you'd like to celebrate our 300th episode with us, go to buymeacoffee.com/Thought Spiral and celebrate with money.
You know, is it going to be hard for you on a day like today when I've shared so much? And you know, it's a short show, too. It's only been 3 hours.
It's only been 3 hours. And let me just say, I'm sorry you're hurting, but fucking...
Suck it up.
Suck it up, asshole.
It's 300 episodes, and there was a movie called 300. Oh.